Sophie Rose, welcome to Blues Fans TV. What a lovely video we're going to have today after our victory at the bridge last night, 4-1 to us. Yes, Mendy ended his clean sheet run, or well, we all did actually. But nevertheless, I don't think it's realistic to expect us never to concede, despite the opponent. I did actually predict 3-1 yesterday, so not as spot on as my prediction against Rennes, but very, very close. And yeah, for some reason I expected us to concede a goal. I think that's just because I think, you know, sometimes the ice will break and it doesn't always go your way. But I think yesterday's performance, if anything, was probably, for me, it was our best performance of the season so far. I'm pretty sure Frank Lampard would agree with that. And it was just amazing to see us improve in all areas of the pitch all in one game. I don't want to focus too much on the goal that was conceded at the start. Yes, we started off a little bit sloppy, but I do think it was actually a really good goal from Sheffield United. It was sort of like a little back heel or back flip, I don't know how you describe it, but yeah, I don't think the defence, I mean, everybody sort of ran back into the box. I don't think the defence could have anticipated that as he flicked it in the complete opposite direction the ball was going. I thought it was just a really, really good goal from Sheffield United there. So I'm not going to dwell on that, but this video is going to be based sort of on our last run of performances and why I believe we are still very much in the title race. So I'm going to go with 5 reasons why I believe we're in contention to win the Premier League this season, which I wouldn't have been able to say about a month ago or 2 months ago, which shows that we're really improving. And I think although the game's going to be really hard this season and they've definitely not proved easy so far, and we've not really come away with all the perfect results, I really still think that we're finding form now. Players are recovering from injury, all bar Pulisic, which we hope he will get better soon, but it looks like he's going to be out for a while. But I really do think, you know, we're sitting in third now. There's a lot of other teams that are in far worse positions than us, such as Arsenal and United. So we really, really do have a good chance of giving this our all. We found form at these perfect times. So this video is going to be 5 reasons why I still believe we're in the title race, and we're going to reflect on yesterday's game as well. So let's get into it. In at number 1 then, and I'm going to start with our defence. We seem to have found some solidity at the back, which we've been longing for so long, not just this season, especially last season as well. Thiago Silva didn't have, you know, the first Premier League game for us. Sort of, well, it wasn't exactly a Gerrard slip, but it wasn't the perfect performance from him. But I think, you know, he's settled in well, and not only is our defence solid at the back, and we seem to have found a good partnership between Zouma and Silva. We also have a fantastic left back as well, who is also able to score goals. The good thing about Ben is obviously he had previous Premier League experience. He seems to have completely fixed that area of the field, which we weren't able to get right with Alonso and Emerson. Alonso, for me, is a good player. I don't think we'll see him featuring for a long time now. I'm not sure whether that's just because of the argument with Frank, but I do feel like he was always better as a wing-back and not as a full-back, and we're not playing that system as of the moment. We seem to have found a 4-3-3 formation, which seems to be the favourite for Frank at the moment. Not saying that he won't change it depending on our opponents, but I don't see Alonso featuring again. And I just think that's not only because of the argument. I think Ben has, well within his rights, deserved that place and fought for that place and proved that he deserves that place by his incredible performances. Not only have our new signings come in and made us solid at the back, we actually have defenders that can score goals as well. I thought Ben's goal from the corner was fantastic. I thought Silva's header was just, again, amazing, showing some initiative and some confidence to come from the back and to push further forward, but to also know that your main area of the field and the place that you need to protect is that centre-back position, and they're getting back in time to do that. So thrilled with our defence so far. I think we've really found some major solidity there, and the Zouma-Silva partnership as that centre-back really seems to be working so far. So yeah, that's a thumbs up from me, and what a perfect time to find form, you know, as we're going into the Christmas period. In at number 2 then, I have to discuss our wonderful signing, Ziyech. I think he's just such a fantastic addition. Not only has he come in and made such a strong impact first and foremost, you know, coming into the Premier League from a different league is always difficult. He was man of the match yesterday, 2 fantastic assists. You can see that just the way he plays just completely reflects and sort of ties in with others. He's not afraid to pass the ball. I don't think he's a selfish player. I think he knows also that you know, his job isn't always to score goals, it's to assist, and that's exactly what he did yesterday, and sometimes that's actually much more important. So I feel like he's just such a fantastic asset to us. I feel like he's a very unselfish player. I feel like he provides an attacking threat as well, which is something that I don't think a lot of teams saw us, you know, other than struggling in, especially last season. So I think he has revamped the team, and also don't forget, you know, he's come back from injury, and to have an injury so early on in your Chelsea career and to come into the Premier League and still be playing like this, sort of from the moment you've come back, I think is fantastic. So I think Ziyech is another reason why we absolutely have a chance to win the Premier League this season, not just because of his presence just as a player, or someone that obviously costs him, a player that obviously costs a lot of money, but I think he reflects his price tag very well, and that's the main thing. You know, he's a solid signing, and for me so far it's been money well spent. In number 3 then, I'm going to talk about Timo Werner. He's just starting to find some proper form, and by that I mean scoring consistently. He had one very good chance in the game yesterday where he sort of hit the bar. But the good thing about him is a lot of strikers sort of give up when they, you know, just trying everything and it's not working. And for me, him getting the 4th goal just shows that he's one of those players that doesn't give up, that doesn't affect his confidence, even if, you know, the game isn't going his way. And I think he's a team player, and I think you can see that all over his face, the amount of effort that he makes in every single game. He's just so eager to score. And I actually do believe we're going to see a lot more goals from him. I think when he first signed, everyone was saying, you know, he's such a great player, and it sort of took him, he had a little bit of a slow start in the Premier League, but once he got his goals in the cup game, etc., I think he's really found his form now. And yes, I would love to see him scoring 2-3 goals a game, but nevertheless, I think we're playing really well as a unit at the moment, and not just individually, which is fantastic. And I think he, you know, is another glimmer of light in our team, and somebody that, a player that other teams are going to fear, especially now. He's just starting to score goals, and that for a defender on the opposition side is always something to worry about. And you know, we want that from our players, and I think Chelsea are starting to now show they are a threat, and I think Werner is going to be a major part of that. In number 4 then, I'm going to say we seem to have found our correct formation. Now I know Frank is one to change things, but the 4-3-3, having Werner and Tammy playing up front in that front 3 selection, I think is working fantastically. I think they're both able to get goals. I think even when Tammy doesn't score and it's only Werner that gets the goals, I think they're both working really well together. They're intertwining, they're making the team look a lot more threatening up front. And I've actually wanted us to play with 2 strikers up front for quite a long time. I'm not really sure why many managers haven't done it. I think if you look back at Chelsea in our history, we've always had that one man up front, whether it be Diego Drogba or whether it be Diego Costa. We then tried to find that with the likes of Morata or Giroud maybe, but they're probably not strong enough. Well, Morata definitely, but maybe Giroud isn't exactly strong enough to hold the fort on his own. But I do think Tammy's got goals in him, despite what people say. Obviously he scored yesterday, and it was a good goal. Poor defending from Sheffield United, but nevertheless, a goal is a goal. And he is again on the score sheet. So you can't criticise his performances. For me, I think a lot of fans may just think that he's not up to Chelsea FC standard. I actually disagree. I think Tammy has a lot to offer. I think a lot with him, especially when you saw him sort of haggling with Jorginho a few games ago about who should take the penalty. Yes, that might be quite egotistical on Tammy's part, because Jorginho has always really been that penalty taker, although I think Werner's going to take over that soon. I think, well, he already hasn't he? But I think a lot of it is that Tammy wants to show that he can really be the main man at Chelsea. I don't think that's a bad thing. You know, yeah, okay, fine, for your teammates it might seem a little bit big-headed, but that sort of confidence I don't think you can put a price on. So I think they're both working really well together, and I would love to see Frank continue with this formation. I think having 4 solid at the back without wing backs for the moment is working really well. I think our midfield, although we're able to change around it slightly with you know, Kovacic was coming in yesterday for Jorginho. Yeah, I think we've got more than enough options, and yeah, we seem to just really have found our stride, and it couldn't come at a better time. And in number 5 then, we seem to actually finally be able to have a plan B, to have players that we can bring off the bench. Now, this for me isn't an area in our team that is fixed completely yet. But I think you saw yesterday, even though we have Pulisic injured, we can have Kovacic in the team, we can have Jorginho, with those two can mix around together. Mason Mount seems to be, you know, a favourite of Frank Lampard's, but nevertheless I think we have more than enough midfield options to sort of change things up a little bit. Now obviously when Pulisic comes back from injury, that will have a little bit of a dilemma. I think Ziyech is obviously more than earned his place in the team, and I don't see him leaving that position anytime soon. But it's nice to know that we have world-class options on the bench. I think Pulisic has proved to be that. I don't see how you can say that he hasn't, even though he wasn't the most well-known player before he came to Chelsea. Although I do love that little picture of him and Mason Mount when they do the how it started versus how it's going. I thought that was really cool. Now they're playing together again. So yeah, you know, it's just nice to know that we have good options on the bench that can prove themselves to be amazing in the first team, can prove to be influential when they're coming off the bench when we need it when we have times of need. And you know, that we didn't have last season. I wouldn't be able to say that we could, you know, decide between Ziyech and Pulisic and who's the better one to play, or be able to tamper with the midfield a lot, or did we have, you know, Ben Chilwell on the bench? No, we didn't. We've now got him in the first team. So I think we've really worked hard at making sure that even when we do have injuries, and that will, of course, when you have injuries in your team, it will cost you games, it will cost you points, but I do feel as if Frank now knows, or starting to know anyway, the system that works and what players fit where, and that is because we've made some incredible signings, and I'm just really happy that things are going well there. Okay, just one last point there. I know I said only 5 reasons why, I'm going to give you 6, and of course we have to discuss Mendy. God, it's crazy, isn't it, to think that when we signed Kepa, I remember having to go on Sky Sports and I had to defend why we chose him over Alisson, and he really wasn't very well known. The only thing I could go by was the fact that he was a young player that Chelsea had a lot of faith in, and you know, he's proved himself elsewhere. But it didn't work out, and we seem to have found an excellent player in Mendy. And I've mentioned this in previous videos. I didn't want to dwell on it. I didn't want to go into it again too much, as I've already said it before. But just the confidence and the uplift that he brings in the team, especially to those back four in front of him. He's always, you know, clapping them on, cheering them on, saying we can do this. He never gives up. I think the goal yesterday, I don't think that could have been kept out. Personally, you might disagree. I think it was just flicked in the opposite direction, very fast ball. So I think Mendy, it's not sort of realistic to say that he's going to keep a clean sheet in every game, but conceding only 1 goal is since he's come here is second to none really, and I'm just glad that we've found a decent solution. I think we brought Ziyech back as an emergency when he's already been retired and left Chelsea previously. I think that shows, you know, just how bad the situation was and how the manager and the board knew that Kepa probably wasn't the right one for us to continue the season with. And to find Mendy, not only has he kept a fantastic record so far, his confidence and just him wanting to be part of the team, and you can see that he shows, you know, a little bit of leadership as well, which we haven't had, I think, since Ziyech was there. So yeah, I think that's just made us all that more solid. You know, he comes as part of the defence, but I wanted to give a special mention to him at the end just because I'm super impressed, as I'm sure you all are too. So there you have it, goes. Those are the 5 reasons why, or should we say 6 reasons why, I believe Chelsea is still in the title race. Comment below and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget the links to Football Manager and Kit Bag for all discount off your Chelsea merchandise are in the description below. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe, of course, and I'll provide more videos like this. If you have any other videos that you would like me to do, or a specific player or subject that you want me to focus on, please comment below and let me know about that as well. But yeah, very excited, and fingers crossed we can turn 3rd place into 1st place very soon.